Hey, hello everyone. Good morning. Can you confirm audible or not? So you know about the course, right? The course is like an Angular. So my name is Srinivas. I have overall 12 years of experience as like a full stack engineer. I worked on React, Angular. Currently working for uh, Python as like a backend, front end is like an Angular. Okay, like this different technologies. Okay, I worked on. So come to our course now. The course duration, it's like 45 days. Weekends, I'm going to take like a application project session. Okay, weekdays, just we are going to cover like, okay, first 1 month, we are going to cover all the topics. Okay, so the duration is like 45 days. So as part of this course, what content we are going to deliver? Okay, I will discuss. Before that, you are joining for this course, right? If you learn this course, what next? Okay, what kind of opportunities you can get it? What kind of role you have to place in the current industry? If you learn React or Angular or Python or Java, okay, you learn something means okay, you have to get some opportunities, right, for that particular course. What kind of opportunities you can get it? What is your role once you completed this course? What kind of role you have to place in our industry? Anyone knows? If you know Angular, what kind of role you are going to, what kind of role you are going to place? Anyone
Mm,
knows? Okay, very
Front-end
simple.
developer.
You
No, I
are
don't.
a web developer role. Okay, web developer, correct. The next one is like a front-end engineer. Okay, Angular developer. These all are like roles, right? So tell me, this is like a role. Your role is like this one. What are the responsibilities? If you learn this course, what kind of responsibilities you have to take care? What kind of responsibilities you have to take care? The role is like web developer only. React also web developer only. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you are like a web developer only. Okay, the kind of responsibilities. What kind of responsibilities you have to take care? Okay, very simple. See, I'm going to explain first of all with the requirement based. Okay, I have one requirement is there. For that particular requirement, if you want to develop, what kind of technologies, in the technology what kind of concepts you have to learn. Okay, like that. Okay, in that way we are going to discuss. Okay, my requirement is very simple, small requirement. Okay, I have one web page like this. I have one web page. Let's take our website only. This kind of website I want to develop. This kind of website simply I want to develop. That is my requirement. This kind of website I want to develop. Okay, the website name is like, for example, vtsschool.com. Okay, this kind of website I want to develop. So my client given the requirement to me, hey, can you develop this kind of website? Okay, I have my own business, so that I want to promote my business. For that I need one website. The website should be looks like this. He said like that. You are the developer. You are the developer. First tell me, if you are like a developer or like a team lead, you only the person like only one developer. Okay, how we can start this application? That is my question. How we can start? First, what you have to decide before start your work, you have to decide a technology stack. What kind of technologies you want me to use to develop this web application or not? Okay, why I said like a web application? Okay, I used the terminology like web application. Why I said like a web application, I will tell. Okay, for now just wait. So first, you have to decide the stack. Okay, you have to decide the stack. Okay, how we can decide the stack? First thing is like, see, one application which is running in the browser. So google.com, it is running in the browser or not? Okay, crickinfo.com, it is running in the browser or not? Okay, there has ndtv.com, which is running in the browser or not? The application which is running in the browser. Okay, that particular application, Each and every application has their own content. That particular application we can develop by using some technologies. Those technologies we can say like a client side technologies. See, the application which is running in the browser, see this, which is running in the browser, this application also which is running in the browser, this application also which is running in the browser, this one also which is running in the browser. Each and every application the content is different. Here the content is this one, here the content is this one, here the content is this one, the content is different. So every application has their own content. That content you have to develop, right? You have to design, right? That content we can develop which is running inside the browser by using some client side technologies, using some client side technologies, client side technologies. So tell me some client side technologies. Like HTML is there, CSS is there, JavaScript is there. My browser knows only three things. Do you know that? HTML my browser can understand, CSS my browser can understand, JavaScript my browser can understand. Other than that, my browser don't know anything. Other than that, my browser don't know anything. So HTML and CSS, JavaScript. On top of JavaScript, we have some other libraries, frameworks are there. React is like one library, Angular is one framework, Vue is like one library, EXT.js, Backbone.js, like this different libraries, frameworks are there. So that I want to develop some content which is rendered inside the browser. For that, I need to choose one client-side technology or not. There is multiple client-side technologies are there. Among those, I want to choose one of the technology. That technology I'm going to choose as part of my course is like an Angular. Okay. See, to develop this web application, I want to decide the stack. Okay. I want to choose like an Angular. Okay, na? Okay, once I choose, okay, what part I can complete? Whatever the content is visible, that one I can develop. That one I can develop. Now see, in this particular application, there has, okay, login, log out to users. Now see, there has some enrolled courses or there. Okay, now I can see the schedule. These all information, not like a static. It's like keep on changing or not. Yes, no? Come on, my schedule keep on changing. My courses, new courses keep on adding. Okay, you can give the feedback here. Okay, somewhere this feedback has to be stored or not. Okay, you can see my enrolled courses. I can do the payment. Okay, and all these things I can do it or not. In my application, we are performing some operations like storing the data. Okay, like storing the data at the time of registration. My details, see, I log out. Whenever I do the login again, I can do the registration or not. Whenever you register, your details somewhere it is stored or not. Yes or no? So in my application, there has a kind of storing some information in the database. That kind of requirement also there or not, you can check it. Okay, there are two types of applications. One is like only static application, another one is like a dynamic. In the once you decided Angular as like a, okay, client side application technology. Okay, that application requirement you can understand first. It is like a static. Is it like a static or dynamic? Static is nothing but here there is nothing or no operation, nothing. Now see, take one more website, dev.uijavakit.com. Okay, like this. Now see, this is a kind of static. I'm not storing any data. Okay, simply that particular content is like a static content. There is no change at all. Okay, so if it is like a static, so I want to create an Angular with a static content. If it is like a dynamic, the data in the database, we are going to take the data, we are going to display the data, like that kind of requirement is there. That is like a dynamic. So first thing is like, once the client given the requirement, check the requirement. In that requirement, the application is loading in the browser. So that I need one client side technology. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you decide that one, Angular or React or something else, you decide. After that, you can think that application has only static content. Okay, you can develop a static application. If the application has like a dynamic is nothing but see this kind of requirement. Login is there, registration is there. Okay, the inquiry, this inquiry, whenever you do the inquiry, your details are going to store somewhere. Okay, schedule, all your scheduled courses has to come here, and courses, all the courses has to come here. Okay, this information is coming from, is not a static, it's coming from database. So it is like keep on changing content. So it is like a static or dynamic, you can decide. Okay, I decided like a front end clients and technology is like an Angular. After that, it is like a static or dynamic, I want to decide. If it is like a static, Angular is enough. If it is like a dynamic, then that time you need to store the data somewhere, right? So the database is required. As part of our sessions, we are going to discuss about MongoDB. We are going to discuss about MongoDB. The next one is like this database directly we are not able to connect. This database directly we are not able to connect from my Angular. So that in between there has one middleware is required. That middleware is like server side technology, that is like a Node.js we are going to discuss. Node.js we are going to discuss. See, my client given this requirement, my client given this requirement. So this application, he said like has to run in the browser. So that okay, I decided like one of the client side technology like an Angular. After that I checked the requirement. Okay, after that I checked all my requirement, my client requirement I checked. So that I decided like we stored the data within the database. So it is not like a static, it's like a dynamic web application. So I decided like database, okay, it's like a MongoDB. My Angular is not directly communicate with the database, so that in between some middleware or backend technology is required. That require okay, backend technology we are going to use like a Node.js. So to develop this kind of application, okay, my technology stack is what? My Angular is like a front end application. My Node.js is like a back end application, and my database is like a MongoDB. Like that, just you need to okay, fix the technology stack to develop that application. Now instead of Angular, you can go with the React or Vue. Instead of Node.js, you can go with the Java, .NET, PHP, something else. You can go with that one. Instead of MongoDB, you can go with the MySQL. You can go with the SQL Server. You can go with the DB2. You can go with okay, whatever based on your requirement. You can go with that one. First of all, somebody given the requirement means you have to first fix that particular technology stack. So I fixed that one like for this particular web application. I fixed like Angular is like my front end, and Node.js is my back end, and MongoDB is like my database. Done. Up here, okay, everyone. Now to develop this one, to develop this application using Angular, okay, user interface. Okay, using an Angular, this user interface, if you want to create, okay, what kind of concepts I have to learn from Angular? What kind of concepts I have to learn in Angular? That is the question or not? Yes or no? Now, why I said like web application? Now you can define web application. Now see, my Angular is like a client application. Let me draw the flow. You can easily understand. So this is my browser. This is my browser. In my browser, there has some content loaded. That content I want to prepare using an Angular. Okay, this is the dynamic web application. It's a dynamic content we have. That data which is loading from my database. So that I need one DB. Okay, that is like any DB you can fix. That is like a MongoDB. Now my browser or my Angular application, which is running in the browser, right? My browser directly not able to communicate with my database, so that in between there has a middleware is required. That middleware is like what? Your backend application. Okay, that middleware is like what? Your backend application or server side application, backend application. Okay, now here in the backend, I want to use one of the technology like Node.js, Backbone.js, your way, sorry, Node.js, Java, not .NET, your backbone is like a front end. Now, if you come here, my Angular is communicate with my backend application. My backend application communicate with my database and give the data, take the data and give that data to my front end application or not. Okay. Now the technology is front end. Any you can use, back end any you can use, no problem at all. Tell me some front end technologies which you used to apply, develop the client side application. Angular, React, Vue, Backbone, okay, XJS, like that. Tell me some backend application, what you know, Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, okay, Salesforce, these all are come under backend applications. So here, my Angular, which is running in the browser, the Angular is like a client-side application, client-side technology to develop. We use it like Angular to develop client-side application. So my client application is like running in the browser. My client application communicate with the server application to perform some operations on the database. So my client is requested to do something in the DB, insert, update, delete, that is secondary, and that operation is completed and my server application give the response back or not. Server application is going to give the response back or not. Now see, entire flow, if you observe, it's a kind of client and server communication application. My client send a request and get the response or not. So here the client is like what? Always browser. So I can say this application is like a web application. Now you can define a web application. What you know? Web application most of the times, if it is like a dynamic web or static. If it is like a static, which is running in the browser, no DB, no backend. If it is like a dynamic web application, okay, we have a backend application to perform some operations on the DB. So my client is communicating with the server, my server is communicating with my DB and perform some operation. You can define a web application. It's a client and server communication application. My client is always browser. This is like dynamic web application. If it is like a static, my client which is running always in the browser, there is no DB, nothing. That is also one kind of what? Web application only or not? Yes or no? So what I can say here, my web application which is always running in the browser. There is two sections, client application, server application in the web. My client is always run in the browser. My server, it is like out of your browser, somewhere it is going to run and used for what? To perform some operations on my DB or not. Perform some operations on my DB. If it is like a static, okay, the content is like static, this part may not be there. If the content is like dynamic, which is taking the data from the database and perform some required operation, then the time this part should add. This part should add. Okay, that is depending upon your requirement. Only static, Angular is enough. You can do static and data which is in the database. Take the data and perform some operation. Then the time to perform some operations on the database, you need some middleware. Backend application is required. Backend application is required. So the web application is a client and server communication application. The client is always browser. The client is like always browser. So that kind of applications we can say like a web applications. Understood? So why we go for Angular means using an Angular, okay, either static or dynamic, whatever it may be, by using an Angular, we can develop web applications or not. So that if you develop web applications, your role is like what? Web developer. Okay, if it is like only static, client side part only we are going to develop. That's the reason you are like a client side developer. Okay, client side developer, or you are like a okay front end engineer, front end developer, or Angular developer, like this different roles. Okay, front end developer, like this. These all are roles. Okay, once you completed this course, you can apply for which role? Web developer role. You can apply it or not. You can apply. Okay, now come to this one. The requirement is not changed. This is the requirement, you have to complete it or not. So if you come here, if you want to develop this particular one, if you want to develop this particular application, now see, if I click on the home, if I click on the about, course. Now see, there has this part only changing, but this header, top header and footer, these values are changing or not changing? These values are like changing or not changing? No, right? This is common for all the pages or not? These are like a common for all the pages or not? So in my application I want to prepare some templates which is like common for entire application, which are like reusable, so how we can develop that kind of header is like common, and the top header is common, this header is common, and the footer is common for all the pages in my entire application. These are like common for all or not? Then the type how we can develop means there has one concept is there in Angular. That concept is like a components. So you can develop one header component. You can use that header component how many places you want. No need to write, no need to create again and again. Just create that template which is common, which is used in multiple places. Just create that particular common content with one component. You can use that component wherever you want. In this case I'm going to create like a header is one common component, footer is one common component, top header is like one common component, like this or not. And menu also, see this, if I click on this one, the menu also not changing, the content only changing or not? Yes or no? See my home, okay, about top header, header, menu and footer is not changing or not? Yes or no? For that purpose, which concept you have to learn? Okay, simple concept is like a components. Components are used for what? To prepare some templates which can be reusable. To prepare some templates which can be reusable. That's it. Got my point? So that which concept you have to learn? Components concept you have to learn it. The next one, if you come here, if I click on the home, my page is routing to home. If I click on the about, okay, the next one is like courses, schedule. So one page to another page is you are navigating or not? Further purpose you have to learn one concept is like a, okay, handle routing. You have to learn routing concept or not? Understood everyone? You have to learn like a routing concept or not? Understood? The next one, come here. Now in the home page, now see, okay, there has some reusable, okay, stuff is there. Okay, this particular one, see, okay, in the courses page also, now see, okay, these templates, home page also I am using and courses page also I am using. How we can? By using which concept we can prepare the template can reusable? We can prepare the template can reusable. Come on, which concept you have to learn? Come on, which concept you have to learn? By using components, right? Yes or no? By using components or not? Okay, these components only, okay, we can say like a directives. Okay, directives, components come under directives. So at the time of components we are going to discuss about directives concept also. Okay, there has component, structural directives are there, attribute directives also are there, like this different directives we have. Okay, we'll discuss that one, don't worry about that one. Just focus on this requirement. Okay, done. The next one, already I know the routing and everything. Now at the time of clicking on the login button, at the time of clicking on the login button, if I enter email or whatever it is, or at the time of clicking on the register button, if I click on the register button, now see, you are creating this particular form with validations or not? You are creating this particular form with some validations or not? Yes or no? So in Angular there has one concept, forms concept is there. By using that concept we can create that forms, and we can validate that forms or not. Got my point? Okay, now the data is like validated. Now tell me, at the time of clicking on the register button, this data should go where? See this. Here I have a register button is there. I have a register button is there. Whenever you click on the register button, this data has to store where? In the database or not? So if you want to store this data within the database, now you have to send a request to the server. My server is going to store the data within the database and get the data and give the response back, successfully registered, not registered successfully. Something like this, you can get the message, right? So you have to communicate with your server side application or not. For that particular requirement, you should know about one of the backend technology like Node.js or not. To perform or store the data, you should have some idea on MongoDB or not. Now, if you have a Angular application, that means forms, my form register button, if you click, you have to communicate with the Node.js to store the data within the MongoDB. To communicate from my Angular to my node, sending the request and getting the response, we are going to handle sending the request and getting the response. We are going to handle by using one of the concept called as the Ajax. Okay, here HTTP request, there has one concept is that HTTP module. So you have to learn that concept. Got the point? Okay, the next one. Now there has multiple places I'm communicating with the server application. See here, if you come here, registration form, I'm communicating with the server application. In my schedule form, I'm communicating with the server application. In my another form, communicate with the server application. See how many places I'm communicating with the server application. Register form, at the time of clicking on the register button, my data should store in the database. Yes. Login form, at the time of clicking on the get OTP, you have to get the OTP and you have to validate the phone number. You are like a registered user or not, you have to validate it or not. You have to validate, so that here also I have to communicate with the server application. Now see contact. Whenever you click on the submit button, you have to store the data in the database. That means you have to communicate with what? Server application or not. Now if you come to the inquiry, now see here also there has a form. If I click on the submit, this data you have to store in the database. In this form also I have to communicate with what? Server application or not. Now see, in my application, there has multiple places or there which is going to communicate with the server application or not. So this particular concept, communicate with the server application, is common. This functionality is like common in my application or not. Multiple places I'm using. Instead of writing in each and every place, can you write this functionality in one place? Can I use it? Functionality you can use it. Templates can use using components directives. Functionality you can use, one of the future is like a services. You can create one service, you can reuse that service wherever you want. Communicate with the server application, that is one functionality. So you can create that functionality in one service, you can use that service wherever you want, how many times you want. Okay, best example is what? Communicate with the server application. So this particular service, okay, this particular functionality, you can write in one service, you can use that service wherever you want, how many times you want. Got my point? Understood? Okay, the next one. If you come here, this is the, okay, duration is like a 6 months, okay, it's like a 45 days, okay, this is the date, okay, this kind of validations and everything where we have to do in the forms only or not. The duration is like 45 days, okay, this is like required field or not required field. These all somewhere you have to validate it. Mandatory fields you have to validate, where we are going to handle, okay, this form validations within the form only or not. You create a form and you have to validate that form. You create a form and you have to validate that form. Okay, the next one. If you come here, now see, the heading is like all or like capital letters only or not. See here, all are like capital letters. Okay, see here, regular course, all are like capital letter. But date format is like always like this only. Okay, date to month, 3 characters, and a year. Okay, now if you get like a lowercase letter or uppercase letter, I want to filter it like okay, uppercase only. The input I want to transform into another. Okay, I have an input, I want to transform into, okay, uppercase letters. I want to transform. For that purpose, the given input, if you want to transform, we have one concept is there, pipes. Pipes is one concept is there. Best example is like I have lowercase letters, some uppercase. I want to convert all are like uppercase. Then you can go with that, pipes. Okay, I have a date is there. I want to convert the date in this format only. Then the time you can transform. Okay, then the time you can go with the pipes. Got my point? Okay. Now if you come here, total how many pages are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages are there. First time load, all the 9 pages required, only home is enough. First time load, all the 9 pages required, or only home is enough? Come on, general question. Only home is enough, right? Remaining all not required. But whenever you click, then only required or not. Okay, first time load, I don't want all the forms, okay, all the pages. First time load, only home is enough for me. Remaining all are not required. Whenever I require, then I will ask, then you can give. First time I don't want. If you give all first time, it takes so much time to load, right? Actually, application performance as an end user, okay, you justify based on the loading time, right? Based on the look and feel, right? Yes or no? Loading time and look and feel only, right? So loading time is like very high, okay, very okay, take so much time. Then the time you said like what, hey, this application takes so much time here, okay, it's not good that much, like that we are going to justify or not. That's the reason whenever you load the page, required pages only can load, remaining all are like after that you can load. Okay, lazily you can load. For that purpose, lazy loading, there has one concept is there in the routing only. Okay, there has lazy loading concept is there. Lazily load, no need to load early. Okay, whenever required, then only you can load, then only you can load. Okay, through lazy loading we are going to handle that one. The next one is like business requirements. What you know, business requirement, this is an important. Okay, here there has schedule is there. In this schedule, so based on the date only I want to sorting. Okay, which one is like latest 17th April, okay, so that this is the latest one. And the next one is like okay, angular today's date, okay, 14th April. Based on this one I want to sort it, I want to sort it. Okay, this is my business requirement. The schedule, whenever you want you can do it, but based on the date only you have to sort it. That is my business requirement or not. So my application may be angular, my application may be react, my application is maybe something else, whatever it may be, but my business requirement I am going to write always using JavaScript only. That the reason the prerequisites for angular or react or something else, okay, business requirement never change. The application skeleton is going to change. Application skeleton is going to change. Business requirement always common. That requirement we are going to write in the JavaScript only. Okay, and that applying the CSS, okay, for my HTML pages, same for all the client side applications. That's the reason to learn our Angular or React or Vue or Backbone, okay, whatever it may be, these are like a common for all HTML and CSS, JavaScript. The business requirement we can write here. Business requirement. Okay, that is like functionality or template or CSS, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. Got my point? Agreed, everyone? Okay, the next one is like application. This is my application. The application level, okay, I want to share some data which is available to all the forms. Application level, I want to store some data which is available to all the forms. So I want to manage the state at application level. So we have one concept we are going to learn, state management at application level. At the application level, Redux kind of concepts are there, we'll discuss. Got the point? Yes. The next one is like in my application, multiple components are there. Home, about courses, so schedule. Okay, in this only multiple components also you can write. One component to another component, communication is required. Communication is required. For that purpose, okay, we have okay RxJS observables concept is there. communication between components concept, communication between components. Okay, using observables. Okay, reactive X JavaScript, XJS. Understood, everyone? The next one, there has module concept. Okay, for example, in my application, student application, you can take student is like one module, staff is like one module, my admin, super admin, okay, is nothing but my principal is like one module. In my application, different small applications also we can create or not, we can handle or not. Each and every application is like one module. Student, my application is like a school management, VTS school is my application. In the VTS school, student module is one, admin module is one, staff module is one, like that or not, we can split it. For that purpose, we have one concept is there, modules is my concept. Application contains multiple applications, multiple modules, you can say. Got my point? The next one is like, once your application development is completed, see, if you know this concept, you can easily develop this application. That's it. Okay, now once you completed your application, you have to test your application, okay, by writing some unit tests. Unit tests, you can do it. After that, application development is completed. You should not keep that application in your local machine, right? If you keep the application in your local machine, you only person can see it. This VTS school is there, not only me, in this world anyone can see it or not. So you have to publish your application or not once the application development is completed. Is nothing but deployment. So you have to deploy your Angular application or not. You have to deploy your Angular application. Here the unit tests are two types. You can write like a functionality tests, another one is like automation tests. Automation tests also we can. Okay, now the next one is like, okay, okay, with these concepts I want to develop one end-to-end application. So end to end one application I want to develop finally. That's it. This is our course. Understood? Okay. Any questions, anyone? So if you know these concepts, you can develop any kind of application. That's it.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh, should we cover signals and standalone components? Are these things?
Yeah, you can come up with your requirement. It's not like a fixed. Yes, we can cover. Okay, if it is helpful, then we can take like workshop kind of also. Just you can come up. It is not like fixed. I already told in the group also. Okay, this is like high level. If you want, you can come up with your own topics. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Any other questions, anyone? So the first thing is like you have to, okay, if you have an idea on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay. If you don't have that much knowledge, okay, just you can brush up your JavaScript knowledge, HTML and CSS also. It's not a big deal. Okay, you can easily learn, no issues. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? So for now, okay, I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow onwards, our actual sessions will start. So work with me. Okay, on daily basis, we are going to give some assignments. For that, just install Node.js software in your machines first. The next one is like one editor, any editor you can use. I prefer like VS Code editor, VS Code, Visual Studio Code. These two are like open source only. Just in your machines, these two you can install first. Okay, so we are going to write our code in TypeScript. That the reason HTML, CSS, JavaScript somewhere you written now. Okay, you can add like TypeScript. Okay, my JavaScript is like a subset to TypeScript. So that TypeScript also we'll discuss. Okay, anyone have any questions? Okay then. Okay, if you not enroll the course, just you can enroll, okay, better to go with the join the group. Okay, if you not join the group, okay, just you can go to the schedule here, join WhatsApp group, okay, to get the quick updates. Okay, enroll to get the videos. Okay, just enroll to get the videos, to get the quick updates, just you can join in this group. Okay, Node.js latest version you can install, no problem at all. Latest version you can install, I think 22 is there, just you can install it. Why? Because we are going to work on updated versions only. That's the reason. Just you can install the latest version. Okay, na? Okay, then we'll continue the main things in tomorrow's session. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, just enroll. Okay, join in the WhatsApp group also.